meet you. Um, People ask me, how do you get to be called Godman? Who bears Godman? As in, what audacity? Uh, but the truth was that it was a name given to me by my cousin. And I wasn't a pastor, I wasn't even a Christian when I was given the name. And I somehow I found my way to the pulpit. But there's more to me than just preaching from the Bible. I have had a well-educated life. My first degree was in mining engineering, or is in mining engineering. I have a second degree in law, international law, and I have an MBA from Manchester Business School. All that preparing me for what I do now, which is more having a foot in the religious space, pastoring a church, and a second foot generally in the social space, resourcing people, as a business coach, a relationship coach, a life coach, someone who just loves to see people get better. So I'm saying this for you to have a balanced perspective of who I am. I'm seriously interested in entrepreneurship, having had a stint at it myself, being a part of a few businesses in my earlier life, and also continuing to resource many other enterprises. I sit on the board of a few, young companies, just not for money, but just to help, to nurture, and all that. So that's my heart. And it finds itself a bit into my life as a pastor. So I've said all this for you to understand who I am and what my passions are. Now, talking about the role of religion in entrepreneurship. Initially, they actually told me that it's going to be in technology, but you changed it. Okay, it's okay. I prepared for both. Generally speaking, technology can be leveraged on for anything. Technology is a tool. So whether it's an enterprise, it's a religious-based organization, it's a social organization, not-for-profit, whatever you're doing, you'll find technology very useful if your mind is open to it. Now, coming back to how religion and entrepreneurship, come to be, I think it was maybe Martin Luther King Jr. or so that says that any religion that does not care about the poverty that plagues people, the issues that they go through in their livelihood, and is only focusing on maybe where they will spend eternity only, it's not a good religion. Because people need to have a taste of where they are going, where they are. If there's heaven, it's good to have a taste of heaven on earth, so we can be appropriately prepared for heaven. I hope somebody's following me. And that's why religion should be interested in how people live their lives now. I just came in from here from a men's meeting, a men's breakfast. I just finished speaking at a men's breakfast event. And after I finished speaking and it was question and answer time, there were lots of questions around how men are ceasing to become breadwinners in their homes. And we're having more women who are breadwinners, and how men can cope with that. And all that is coming because a lot of men today don't know what to do if they lost a job. Yeah, they're just there. They've not been tutored on how to add value beyond a career path, on how to create wealth on your own so you can be the nurturer and the provider that God has, called you to be as a man. And in the religious space, we need to be able to speak to that. Resourcing people to be who they should be so that they can take their responsibility here is a major reason why I believe that religion should speak to the subject of entrepreneurship.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, Pastor Godman. So I really appreciate the quote you got from Martin Luther about how that you have to reach out to the people, like whatever it is you're offering has to provide some kind of solution to the people in their current and present state, rather than giving them a futuristic hope, even though hope is beautiful, but currently it has to serve some kind of purpose for them. Now, I know there are tons of entrepreneurs who are here and budding entrepreneurs, and sometimes when you approach a successful business person and you ask him, oh, how did you get to this point? The cliche response you hear is, nah, God, oh, or it is God. And it gives some kind of, it's a very vague response, and it doesn't give any kind of specifics or detail to the person who wants to know, how did you get there? So my question is, how can we uncloud, or how can we declutter that sense of, yes, God is the ultimate. Everything we have, we owe to Him, for those of us who believe in God. But for those who may not and who want to just know how you have gotten to that point, how can we help them say, this is like, how do you get to that point where you're able to give details and specifics to how you arrived at where you are without completely taking out the God factor, but at the same time appreciating and giving relevance to all of the skills and maybe the tools that you had to put in to get to this point of success that you're at?
Okay, this is the way I think we should look at it. The next time you ask somebody, how did you achieve or get to where you are, and they say, it's the grace of God, please answer them, there is God, though. Yeah. Because they are refusing to say the things that are vital that you should hear. Because if it's by the grace of God, the grace of God is available to everybody. So how come you have been able to leverage grace to this point, and I have not been able to leverage that grace to this point? You need to explain it to me. I think one of the greatest challenge to entrepreneurs in our day, especially if you live in a third world, is to be able to conceptualize your learnings and not to just throw them away. Because we need to know how we get to where we are. All the books that we read from abroad, from different places, all the cases from Harvard and all that, it's because some people took time to conceptualize, to create bodies of knowledge around wealth creation and entrepreneuring. That's why we have materials to read. Now, we need to understand something. Some of those materials don't fit into our context. So we need homegrown materials with which the peculiar challenges that we face in this part of the world can be addressed from our own point of view. If I read a case study from maybe Starbucks or Google, it's okay because I can pick one or two principles. But if I read the case of maybe Andela, just for the want of a case of Mr. Biggs, I hope you understand what I'm saying. If I want to go into that industry, I will have certain learning curves that I need to pay attention to. I think that's where what we're running away from. Now, in the church that I pastor, the Elevation Church, one of the things that we're doing to address that is that every year, close to the time of the World Entrepreneurship Day, which is usually around mid-November. In fact, the entire month of November is our Enterprise Development Month. And what we do is to put together all the people that have started one thing or the other and tell them to conceptualize, produce slides, produce this, and come and make a presentation. So, for instance, all the midweek events that we have in the month of November, every year, I don't speak. And we don't speak from the Bible. We speak entrepreneuring. We speak learning curves. We speak ideas. How to move from idea to concept development to business plan to going to the market and becoming profitable in the first maybe 18 months, 24 months. How did you do it? Come and speak to it. And we even go outside, bring people who are even outside of our congregation. It was a delight listening to my friend Obina, for instance, the guy who started Waka Now. How do you move from being an NBA star to becoming somebody who who leaves America to come to Nigeria and then start to run something that is a trailblazer in that tourism and, industry. You understand what I'm saying? When we do more of that, what we're going to see is that people will have templates, applicable templates that already recognizes the peculiarities, the peculiar challenges of our business terrain, and not just something.
Entrepreneurs probably approach you. What are their top three, would you say, the top three questions that they always have for you whenever they meet you?
I think one of the most recurrent questions is, how do I raise money for business? I think that one is just, I've done loads of teachings on how you don't need money to start anything, and that even God, when he had to create, well, this is based on the Bible, when he had to create the heavens and the earth, he didn't ask for capital. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't ask, at least based on the story in the book of Genesis, he didn't ask for capital. It was just an idea. You understand what I'm saying? It was just an idea. The heart was without form and void. Darkness covered the face of the deep. The Spirit of God was moving upon the waters. And God said, let there be light. Light speaks to illumination, knowledge, the idea, defining the idea. What's the value proposition? Money flows in the direction of value. So when you can nip the value in the bud, you are already talking money. Because that money is going to find you. That's how it works. Yeah. So, but people ask about money, how will I raise money, and all that. I think another challenge that I've seen that people have is how to conceptualize and move from vague idea or thought to paper that I can present and people can perceive value. I think in this part of the world, we need more people to engage our aspiring entrepreneurs with skills that can make the intangible become tangible. Nobody wants to put money on intangible. Yeah. You can't be describing your idea, give an elevator speech, 3 minutes on the idea, and we can't perceive any value. It's because you haven't done your homework well, putting it on paper. And if I say, shoot me an email on this idea, 1 page, for some people, 1 month, you are still expecting the email. Yeah, because they've not been tutored on how you can distill that and drop it into a 1-pager that a busy person can read and be able to circle 3 things that connote value. And be able to think, is this worth my time to engage, even before we think about investing, to even engage my time with it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very, very much. So, quotes, one thing I picked from here, quotes, money flows in the direction of value, end of quotes. Pastor Godman, hashtag Techpoint Inspired.
Your talent to add value or create wealth, but building a structure around your talent.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for that. So that's a question around structure of talent. Chima, over to you and Pastor Godman.
Thank you so much, Rufai. So, Pastor Godman, we'll address which would you like to address first, the first or from the last?
All right, I'll start from the last. Building a structure around your talent. Building a structure around your talent is like saying, I want to become established. Yeah. A lot of young Nigerians love to, like we say it, blow or hammer. Are those words that resonate with you? All right. So they love to blow. They love to hammer. Yeah. The problem with blowing or hammering is that there is no establishment or building a structure in that mind frame. It's about just getting into money. Just, we're so in a hurry to get into money. And I need us to, I know that those of us here at technology and information people, I wanted to get these things out. You see, I accepted to come here today because I know that the things we'll discuss here will get into the media space so that Nigerians can read it. if we continue the way we are, what's going to happen is we're going to continue to have flash in the pan entrepreneurs and people who will just come and go. No legacies, no institutions, Yeah. So we need to change the mindset of the young Nigerian. It takes a bit of time. The gestation period of the average business is not just a few years. Yeah. See, I've been involved in a business where I was the chairman of the company. We grew our portfolio, I think, to close to 2 billion naira. Played in the asset management space, microfinancing, different things. When the stock market crashed, the company crashed. To rejig and because of some things that we didn't know then, and places some kind of structures that are supposed to be in place, the company could not survive the crash of the stock market. Yeah. And that speaks to the fact that it takes time for you to navigate certain areas, build, for sustainability. The moment some guys, start to do small businesses, the next thing is you want everybody to know that you're making money, so you get a good car, you fly business class, do this, do that. But what you don't know is that if anything happens that disrupts the equilibrium, that could just be the end of that business. So, talking about building structures around your talent, the first thing I would like to say to you is that you need to be painstaking. It will take time. You have to put the right structures, around you. You need to connect with the right people. You need to have the long-term perspective. Because this thing you're asking about is not a small thing, it's a big deal. And I like the question, and I'm taking time to talk about it because most young Nigerians don't have this mindset. Yeah, about building structure around your talent. What the question most people ask is, how can I turn my talent to money quickly so that money can start coming? Yeah. Just to stop on this point, how many of us read about MJ, Michael Jackson, his empire, the last year, I think 2016? In debt, as in posthumous, Michael Jackson made more money last year. His estate made more money than any living singer. Go and Google it, you'll see it. Yeah. And it was because, I've forgotten what they call it, like labels, album, I'm not in that space. So there was certain things that he had invested into. Do you know MJ bought the right to certain people's music that they sang? Because he had money to do it. He was making money and putting it in the right places. So there are songs that you will download today that he did not sing, but he will make money out of it. I'm just saying that for you to know that you can really, when the structure is in place, money can continue to flow to you forever. That's why we should not be in a hurry. Now, maybe I should quickly connect that to the guy who asked a question about moving from thought to paper. Moving from thought to paper, it's moving from, like I said before, intangible into tangible. I've done many things with my life. But when I had a calling to pastor a church with the other things that I do, I sat down with my pastor, and that's the popular Pastor Sam Adeyemi. And he told me, he said, Godman, I need you to put pen to paper, take your time. This church that you will plant, I need to have a document. I still have that document. It's going to be in a book that I'm going to write, that I'm working on soon. It's a 32 or 33-page document that I submitted to him. As it included everything foremost, and say, what are the main issues or the main things in my mind about this idea, and to write down. And to continue writing. Even if you are not gifted at writing, nobody's going to mark your grammar. It's the thing that you are trying to put down. And then to get some people around you to sit down with you, to check and add their own idea to it and help you structure it until it starts to take shape. In every idea, there's the DNA of the idea. All of us we are products of the DNA of our parents. Over time, we grow to manifest that DNA, to give a frame and a structure to that DNA. That's why when they look at you and the DNA is really manifesting, they say you look like your father or your mother. If you can capture the DNA and put it down in paper, you only need people to help you ventilate it. Very soon, the DNA will start to show the shape and the form of what it's supposed to be. My admonition to you is don't be lazy. Yeah. Engage your faculties. Sit down and write. Then engage professionals. Because consultants will always ask you, what do you want to do? If you cannot articulate it, there's nothing to consult on.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Thank you very, very much. I know people will be so surprised to hear that a church actually took the time to have all of these plans and budgeting, but truly, if a church can do it, then how much more your own business? I think we'll just quickly address the other question about interdenominational support.
There's a question on putting your idea through the church in an interdenominational format. One thing that you should understand is that as good as the church is as more like a resourcing center for young people and all that, when it goes into the interdenominational arena, we have our own issues that we're grappling with. So I will tell you that it's not going to be easy, for you to be able to do that. If you want to leverage the church or any religious organization to push anything, create relationships with individual pastors. Let them know you as a person of value with great motive, and let them see the value that you profess. They will open their doors to you. You can do the work with just a few organizations, a few churches. What we have right now, in terms of coming together interdenominationally, is not there yet. And your idea is not what will bring it to work. So don't try to force it. You just identify the people who understand what you want to do and work with them. Now, there's another question about counselor and all that. The truth is that one of the things that we are pushing for is for pastors to draw the line between the areas of our professional competence in terms of, spiritual things. 2 years ago, I felt an impression in my heart to start to do something in this area. We worked through it for 1 year, and this February, we started a conference that we call Exponential, which actually gathers pastors together. And I was very happy about the kind of response we got, especially from the pastors in the younger generation. We actually had pastors came in from almost every state in Nigeria and 3 African countries. We had about 850 pastors that were with us for 3 days, with a token registration of, I think, 5,000 naira or so. And for student pastors, like
3,000.
3 or 2,000, something like that. We provided meals, lunch, everything, made them comfortable. We provided accommodation. I spoke to our members to partner with us, to give into it, and it was highly successful. These are some of the things that I discuss. I invite other pastors who are thinking in the same line, and we speak to them about it. Don't ask people to give when you are not in any way contributing to how they make the money. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. We need to play our part in resourcing our people to gain career progress, to develop enterprises, to create wealth. It's after then that we can challenge them to support the work of God. If we're making no input in that area at all, we're just asking them to give what they don't have. How do they get it before they can give it? It's very important. And in the area of technology, I mean, next year, February, maybe we're going to talk to Techpoint. Any technological resource that you believe can help us to do pastoring better, we're going to create a platform for you to for exhibition during that conference. Yeah. So you show all your,
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
any app, anything at all, because that was where we started from this year. Whatever tool, whether technology or otherwise, that will resource the church environment, we want to make them available and create a huge platform so that pastors can become more knowledgeable in the area of technology and many other areas. So like I said, it's a promise I'm making that we're going to stay in touch with Techpoint to invite you. Maybe you throw something on your platform and help us aggregate the resources that you think the pastors can leverage and let them come and exhibit at the conference.
Thank you so much. A round of
Thank
applause
you
for
so
Pastor
much.
Godman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you all had the chance to tap into his amazing mind. He is a very wonderful leader who has inspiring views on leadership and entrepreneurship. And I'm sure you will have lots of questions to meet with him. So quickly, Pastor Godman, how can they reach you in case they want to pass more questions across?
Okay, how can you reach me? This is an online generation. At PGman on Twitter, at PGman on Instagram. You can boss me either way. Tweet at me. I'm on Facebook, but I don't do so much on Facebook. I'm more of a Twitter person, Instagram person. So you reach me there, and otherwise you shoot me an email, askpg@elevationng.org. Yeah, ask
Thank
PG.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.